So anyone have anything they want to, we can talk about today?
Is that your haircut?
No.
Hey, I'm Brian. I'm new. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Just using my kid's headphones because he stole mine. So making sure they work. Yeah, I think a topic, I've been watching your videos a lot. I haven't joined a meeting live yet. So thank you for all the effort that goes into putting those videos.
Oh shit, I just muted him trying to mute other people. Sorry, Brian, can you unmute yourself again?
All right, I'm back. I'll start over and be more concise. I've been watching your videos for some months now, but I'm first time joining the meeting. But the thing I'm struggling with, or the topic I think that I seem to encounter often, is my intellect tries to solve every problem. And so the search I've been on through drug addiction and coming across things like your videos is my intellect is trying to solve every problem and I can't stop. And I've been noticing that. So I'll leave it at that. I think maybe you understand what I'm saying.
Yes. Well, in a way, Brian, it would be, so let's say my intellect is trying to solve every problem. Obviously, that's a problem, yeah? But, if you look at it in a different way and not seeing it as your intellect, but seeing intellect is attempting to solve every problem. And it has a completely different feel, yes? So, and it's valuable because what can failed systems show you? They're failed. That's their value. So if you look at it as your faculty, then you're the one who's failing. But it's not the case. It's the intellect is failing. Yeah? It's not your intellect and it's not you that's failing. Yeah? So you basically, the same information, if seen in a different light, comes to a completely different conclusion. And after a while, when it has that old like trough of going to the same conclusion, when that gets interrupted and you see the seamlessness of the non-duality understanding, it's pretty cool. So that which would be me seeing that the intellect tries to solve every problem is causing a lot of, let's say, discomfort or irritability and restlessness. When you see it as not yours, it leads to an ease and comfort. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you'll realize that the intellect is going to keep using itself to figure shit out. It's not you that stops it. There's a loss of interest in it. So basically, let's say when it's you, it encompasses the big square of the zooms. When you see it's not you and the intellect trying to solve every problem, it's seen in a little square. Yes?
Right.
And seeing it in a little square gives you a hit of being the big square. Yeah? So its value is, you can't estimate that value. So the value of a failed system is that it reveals that it's failed. That's incredible. Yeah. So now you realize, Jesus, the intellect, not my intellect, because if it's your intellect, the failure will be put on you. Yeah. Which is not going to be correct. It's not going to it's going to lead to something else. If the failure is on the process, the mental process, there's a lot of value in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way the head does it puts the failure on you because it's your intellect. It's your this. It's just like this story with the dog taking a shit on the neighbor's lawn. And if I see it as my dog, then the feeling of, oh, I fucked up lands on me. When I see it was a dog that took a shit, that's what dogs do. Yes, they take shits. Yeah. Now I'm just not going to walk by the neighbor's house anymore. Yeah,
Right.
simple. And 20 years later, I'm not pondering why did I take so many shits on neighbors' lawns or living in fear that I'm going to take another shit. You've cut the whole distribution center that's reinforcing the idea of being the one and now seeing clearly. Yeah. It's beautiful. So
I
it's
find
just a
that
difference of where the sentence starts, which is my intellect. Yeah. The transfer of the value in seeing that is going to go to the selfing, which is going to use that to bond you to this idea. There's no you to be bound, but you get what I'm saying. So
yeah,
it's and this is simple, but it shows a principle. Yes. The principle that there's no one there. So all the shit that's revealed, you are never revealed. Yeah. What's revealed is what you're not. And then you find you, in a sense. You feel or sense it. Yeah. You can't, something that's always here in plain sight can't be revealed. It can seemingly be obscured, and that's what the head does. Yes. It's like the story with the lady with the necklace on the neck, and then she believes she's lost it. Yes. And now she feels completely bummed out. And then somebody finally points out to her, hey, just feel your neck. And then she feels the neck because her belief in losing it had so much faith in it, she never even checked the neck. She just believed she lost the necklace. Then the guy or the woman says, feel your neck. And she feels the neck, and she feels the necklace. But what she does, it still continues the story, which is, I found it. I found the necklace now. No, she didn't find it. She didn't lose it. It was always here. Yeah. So as Ramana says, realization is always realized. That which is always realized. It's always being. Yeah. You don't bring it into being. Yeah. You see what's disguised as the act of being isn't. It's selfing. And then that which you wanted to embrace, you feel. Yeah. You sense. Yeah. And hopefully it will trigger like, hey, this is the last answer. I mean, this is like a knowing before all the knowing. So, yeah, all the
yeah,
knowing that my intellect wanted to acquire with the hopes of arriving at that which is before all that knowing. Yeah. But see,
yeah,
this is the peace that passeth understanding. Your and my understanding, not understanding, but our understanding. Yeah. Just like in recovery, self-will avails you nothing. Self-knowledge avails you nothing. Yeah. What? But knowledge of self is very valuable. This is how distinctly different it is. Yeah. You look at it one way, that knowledge being claimed as yours is going to avail you nothing. You see it, yeah, the knowledge, and then you see the head trying to put a my on it, and you see it from what you are, that's valuable. Incredibly valuable. Yeah.
yeah. I find that this circular this circular problem of uh, the intellect. Um, if I'm not joining this meeting in order to try to gain something valuable that I think is going to help me, just as an example, this meeting, I go to a lot of 12-step meetings, and sometimes I'm in there going, what am I doing here? There's nothing more prominent than myself coming out, and other people. I just see it everywhere. So it's this circular thing of doing something that triggers the intellect, and then there's doing nothing, and there's this and then obviously my drug addiction, I'm all or nothing. I do 1,000% or nothing. And so I'm in this place where I don't know how to, I have glimpses of it, but there's this resting and just coming to a meeting like this that I think is going to help. And the intellect kicks in and is trying to figure out what you're saying to a degree that I'm going to take something away from it, and it just it takes over and runs wild. So everything you're saying is very it actually makes sense to the intellect, and then there's this place that wants to run with it.
Yes,
so,
but see, what's bringing you this description that you're so clearly presenting isn't the intellect. It's the awareness. The awareness of the activity is now being communicated. So now the intellect usually doesn't get to that it's the problem. You see the intellect from somewhere other than the intellect, or you see it not through the intellect, and then you see clearly its failings, yes? And one of its failings is trying to navigate and set a course to arrive at where you already are, yes? But it can't help itself. This is the fundamental FLAW of the programming, yes? There's a belief and a standard bias that you are what's looking. Yeah. Paul is what's looking. And in this case, Paul is looking for the truth. Just like Paul is looking for a pair of pants, or Paul is doing this. Yes. The assumption, without really much evidence, but with a huge amount of assurance, is it's you. Yes. So it's when it's you that's describing the intellect, it's not describing it. It's claimed the seeing of it, and now it's written up a fucking take on it. Yes?
Yeah.
They're all the same system talking about the system. Yeah. But the seeing of it is us. Yeah. So I know people, man, they are in, like, let's say, a deep level of depression as an action figure, but the clarity of their description of it is incredible, because the description of the depression isn't coming from that which is having a depression. Yeah. It's all, it's in but not of. Yes. This is what we are. We are the awareness that sees the futility of the intellect trying to arrive at awareness. Yeah. We are the awareness that sees all the studying never gets to the point where it can study the studying. Yeah. Never. Yeah. All these things, if you go into, that's why they want to have preset frontiers, because if you went into the frontiers of these systems, they would come to a dead end concerning the most important topic, which is what we are, the I am. Yes? That's great news. Because when they fail, something's happened. That's amazing. That won't happen. Well, it's not something happens, because it's always there. But while the system is activated, trying to understand, grok, experience, acquire, maintain, all this stuff, it's beautiful when what's before that you have a sense of, and in that pause, you see all that fucking activity. And then you realize all these devices I was calling mine aren't. Yes? Hallelujah. Yeah. So the failure of the intellect is incredible, is one of the greatest essence of all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just another way.
It took some severe life-changing things for me to get there. Maybe not, unfortunately. Fortunately, I'm in a place
No, you're already there, bro. You're
Yeah.
already there. What's going to happen is you're going to lose interest in the story that travel agent on the head keeps selling you. You're going to lose interest in it. And then you're going to stop planning your next spiritual transcendence or whatever.
Right.
And you'll just
Right.
find yourself here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, now. Yeah. And then all the shenanigans and all the movements won't move something or nothing, let's say. There'll be a sense of here that won't be moved by there and then. Yeah? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you,
You'll
Paul.
have an anchor, not as if you acquired it. It was an unsuspected inner resource, yes, let's say, or just resource. Now it's suspected, but it's not suspected because it's the open secret and the gateless gate. It's not hiding itself or anything. We're it. And the only thing that could fool reality is reality. And so reality makes up its own illusions in a sense. Yeah. Pumps them up with faith and belief, and then things like, oh, I've got a long way to go, and I did this one thing, and that's definitely exiled me for at least 4 days or 20 years or whatever. And then you have the thing, you were bad. This happens in recovery all the time. You were bad, and now you try to be good. That's what happens. Yeah. So when I tried to be good, I had to be super good because the policeman took over. And for the first 4 or 5 years of sobriety was like being on probation with like the soup Nazi running the show. I couldn't fucking do shit. It was just going over. What does this mean? It was just full blown obsession with self disguised as recovery. Yeah. Oh, it's insane.
Right.
Yeah, so, but see, some of these phases are things that occur. It's like you sometimes have to go through all these rinse and air dry cycles to realize you didn't have to go through the cycles. Yeah, so you go through the washing machine of life to realize you didn't have to go through the washing machine of life. Yeah, maybe that's the only way many of us arrive at some knowledge, in a sense. Yeah, like our friend came here, he didn't know, he couldn't come to the conclusion he didn't need to go to a retreat. Only by going to a retreat did he realize he didn't need to go to another retreat. So it worked. You know what I mean? He had to pay $1,000, but hey, it was valuable. Yeah. There you go. So, yeah.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you
surrender
watching
the
videos
intellect.
a long time.
If you're in AA, you surrender those properties and let them be put to a different use. Yes? They have value in the right hands. They do. So in AA, mostly in AA, the theme of recovery is surrender. You just admit you're outmatched, yes? And then you turn over your will and your life over to the care of something, and you could say your life is of intellect, it's of intuition, it's of emotions. You turn that over, and you feel like it's true. You just have a faith in it where it says you're under a new employer, being all powerful. It's going to take care of you, and there's only 2 requirements to fulfill the contract, which is stay close to it. You can't be far away from everywhere, and do its works well. Who's telling you what works as well or not? So basically, the contract is completely suitable to you. And now you can walk around learning how to, you can face life successfully. You can do all this shit. And then that faith gets galvanized, and now you feel like you're in good hands as the action figure while you're living this life. Yes? And it brings out the best in the action figure. Yeah? Compassion, empathy, a recognition of similarities instead of an obstinate stubbornness about differences. All this stuff starts to occur. Now, the action figure has limited ceilings, but compassion and gratitude is a pretty high level, I feel, for an action figure to be living from. I do. And then in that path of the action figure, non-duality will illuminate whatever path you're on. And one of them is the original path is the path of the action figure. We're moving and going through time, and there may be a Thursday tomorrow and shit. Yes. So I mean, people thinking they want to talk about what path they're on. They are a path, yeah, as an action figure. And now the light of non-duality, instead of being directed to spotlight other shit that reinforces the bias of the self-centered system, now is bringing you a panoramic view of stuff. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, your relationship with things and non-things change because you're seeing them differently. Yeah. You are. And even about you, seeing the action figure not as you is probably the best day the action figure ever had, because so much mental weight is lifted from it. You know, now it can fart regularly, and you know, just travels a lot better. Yes, when it's seen as, you know, the center of the universe, it's just way too much for it. It just can't be thought about all fucking day. It's way too much. Yeah. So. All right, Mike. Anyone else?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. And Bruce.
Yeah, welcome, Brian. Thank you.
All right, hello everyone. Just see if I lower it up.
Bruce. It must be the end of the satsang. Bruce is on. Well, that's all right, Bruce.
All right. Yeah. What the fellow just the topic and the way is been going through that. You know, you've talked about say when we have this change of perspective. Well, not that we have it. This seeing. So that in a AA meeting, say, and then say we come upon this other way of seeing things, and I make a statement, say like appearances. Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
And then the intellect, you know, if I make a comment like that, you know, appearances on the screen of consciousness, and then the my seeing turns into like a self judgment. It's the subtlety of it. It's crazy how subtle it is. I was, you know, not that I was able to catch a glimpse of it, but there was this like a seeing that it was my seeing, and it wasn't just seeing. There was like a judgment put upon others that, you know, like you respond as you do, and then say seemingly the other one doesn't pick it up and continues on, as in, you know, the program meetings. And I eventually I left going there. I didn't feel like you know, a part of it anymore. But here I come to this meeting because of this. And the seeing of that selfing doing that, seeing, okay, that's close to what I'm getting at.
Yes.
And then groups that I have felt a part of, then I no longer as a person feel a part of. Yet there is the seeing, like it's not for me to make a judgment on the seeing, and on especially on others. And then, boy, bringing it back to what's my part in it, that I think is the self asking me what my part is in it. It's crazy.
Now, Bruce, a little different way to respond, in a way, is because the head's going to judge. So seeing it as you're not the judger, is, I feel, a much more efficient way than to see the judging. See the judging doesn't trigger I should stop judging. It triggers I'm not the judger. That's so that because judging's coming up. So why not have it be put to use to reinforce what you are instead of what you're not? And then those magical journeys of I'm going to become judgment free and shit, which doesn't happen. Yeah, it's just the system doesn't have that in its repertoire. It just doesn't. I mean, this is the thing about the idea of quit playing God in recovery. Let's say there's Paul, and there's Paul, and there's a complete feeling of being the doer, the thinker, the taster, the toucher. So Paul is really an image that's pointing to the act of playing God. So now that which is playing God reads, I gotta quit playing God.
Hey, Paul is really close to you. There's an echo all of a sudden.
Something's going off. Amelia? No, she's not around here.
Huh.
Yeah, you all right now? No.
I hear an echo. I hear anybody else hearing an echo?
Yes, I hear the echo. Yes.
Huh. Maybe just try moving your iPad a tiny bit.
Can you hear it now?
Yeah.
I think it is. Someone must have it. Hey, honey, can you turn your thing off for a second? Oh, you did. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, better, I think.
Better?
Yeah.
All right. So, as I was saying, certain things I found, I don't know if your head is like this, but when people would talk about judging and how it does stuff, and then you would obviously feel like you'd have to stop judging. Yeah. And I went on that fishing trip enough times to realize that ain't working. I don't know why it's still. Maybe it's you, Mike.
I'm muted. Except for now. Let's see.
I'm gonna mute and then.
Well, let me see. I just noticed that there's a Bruce is well, maybe Bruce somehow is. I'm gonna mute Bruce just to test. Okay. Okay, he's muted, and I'm gonna mute myself. So try.
Can you hear me now? Yes. Can you hear me? Mia? Yeah. All right.
Oh, yeah.
It was all Bruce's fault, like usual. Yeah. I'm having a judgment about Bruce now. And then the policeman arrives and says, you shouldn't be having judgments. And let's go over the last hour or so. You have been judging quite a lot. And so obviously, in duality, the only way that mental state can respond is, I got to stop judging. Has that worked for anyone? No. The message here is simple. You're not the judger, yeah? Even though there's judging going on, it doesn't make you a judger, yes? Thinking's going on, you're not the thinker. We're not touching the activity. We're just feeling for the tail because the tail can be pulled off and the activity just goes on. Yeah? That little tail of I'm the one doing it, thinking it, feeling it. We're just pulling that off the donkey or the dog. And the dog and the donkey travel a lot better. Yes? Just pull it off. Yes? And then you'll lose interest in judging. You will, because you'll see it's not you. Yeah? You'll lose interest in thinking because it's not you. You'll lose interest in a lot of stuff because they're not you. Yeah? And this is what most of us are wishing for. But we're attempting to use a lot of interest to lose interest in judging, to lose interest in thinking, to lose interest in doing, but we can't seem to pull it off because we're trying to lose interest in doing as a doer. We're trying to lose interest in thinking as the thinker. You can't just lose interest in the thinker or admit you can't, and then there'll be a loss of interest in the thinker. Yeah? And then you'll have a completely different relationship, if you want to call it that. There'll be you'll view thinking in a completely different light. You will. Yeah. You'll see shit that just happens. It's the program of the action figure. And the action figure ain't going to go into its own machinery and change it. It's just not going to happen. I don't feel. Yeah. So it's just a simple recognition. All right. There was judging and then there was the self-claiming, the seeing. Great. That's valuable. You're seeing it now. Yeah. Yeah. It's valuable. What happens when you see it from not the seer and not the judger? You lose interest. Yeah. In stuff. Yeah. The stuff of this, seeing, I mean, the judging, the thinking, and, all this. There's just a basic, large, loss of interest. Best way to say it. So, yeah.
Yes, and then the loss of interest, yeah, that's as if I'm seeing something or there's someone seeing.
Well, what it is, how it turns into the action figure, it's like a forgiveness in a lot of ways. The loss of interest forgives you of feeling like you did all this stuff or whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
And it's like a very healing balm, BALM, for the action figure. It is. Yes.
Yeah, that's what seemed to happen, and then I just fell asleep. It just seemed, I don't know. Looking back at it now, it's like I don't know where it went after that. It just
Well, the thing
Well,
for me,
you
the
didn't point
action
out.
figure had been convicted by the mental activity for a lot of crimes, and basically there was no chance for every interview for a parole was already rigged. Yeah, and
Yeah,
sure, I was not that. There was a lot. I don't like the word forgiveness, but there was a lot of it translated as a forgiveness. Yes. Yes, those terrible things I did. Yes. Yeah, there was a
if you
huge relief, and the mountain range of the guilt and shame was shrunk down to a molehill. Yes. And I could walk right over it without a lot of heavy hiking gear and the right boots and the right this and the right that. It was just easy to walk over the shit. Yes.
Now you could have tried to point this out to me for, and until there was the seeing. Well, I don't want to
Yes.
say up. So if you weren't here to point these subtleties out, it's crazy, then I probably, I don't know that I would have seen it. Not that there was an eye that saw it.
Well, then you're lucky that I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks. Yeah. No. Hey. Especially. Yeah.
I'm happy to be of service. Seriously, I think it's the best possible thing I could be doing on a Wednesday night.
Yeah. Well, there's, like I said, I come here because I'm attracted to by nature to be present here.
Yes.
And then I try to be present somewhere else. That's like me trying to be present. And it's yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks again.
For you. Yes. So that's, yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy with everyone here. I'm happy. Stefan, I felt like I was there when he became on Having Never Left. Yeah. So a lot of things. Yeah. I have a lot of joy about yeah, so it's just a beautiful event.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Mike.
Thanks, Bruce. And I can repeat what I just said to our friends on Monday night. that one of the fringe benefits of going to so many of your Paul Hedderman meetings is that I hear, all the things that you said, in a lot of repetition in your voice. So I especially don't see it as me trying to say those things.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's
It's
cool.
really, it is. It's really funny. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Anyone else, Mike?
No hands up right now.
So this is just obviously, I'm just sharing from where I am at the moment. So there's always seeing, always the awareness. Yeah. Now, so the selfing never sees. The selfing narrates based on the information it claims from the seeing. Yes? And then it basically clothes the seeing as you looking. Yeah. And when the seeing, that awareness, the open secret, the gateless gate, is seen as you doing it, it's the blindness to the seeing. Yeah. So you looking is seeing, but it's the act of being blind to the seeing. Yeah. But it's still, the whole context is held as with the seeing. Yes. As everything else is. Yeah. So what weakens, I hope, with satsang is that movement of the head from timeless into time, where the seeing is now you looking. Yes? So just taking a look at the you looking, because obviously the seeing is still before it, yeah? And therefore readily available at this very moment. So we describe what we're not so we can see it from what we are. Before, and then we will see what we are being used to look for itself. Yeah? Called you looking. Yeah? It's you looking. There isn't a you looking, it's you looking. That's the blindness of awareness. Yeah? And by seeing that, we're brought back to sight. Yeah? And when you're brought back to sight, there's a clear recognition you had never left. Nothing had ever happened. There was never a you that started looking like, taking the apple and becoming, none of that's happened. It may seem to be happening all the time in the head, but none of it's happened. And there's a great restful assurance in that, yeah? That produces a lot of nice effects on the action figure, unbeknownst really to the action figure, until it fucking starts observing it. Maybe it takes a year or two. And then something grows in the action figure, a gratitude and a lack of ownership, because it realizes what's actually going on is impossible to claim. Yeah, there's no one there to do it, and it's pretty nice. Even though the claiming continues, it's impossible. Yeah. So, so it's like you see the full balloon, and you don't even have to puncture it, because you see the full balloon, and then you see that, and you know it's empty. Yes? Yeah. So, and I think maybe what helped me in hindsight was those 10-day cocaine retreats I went on. Because I really saw the rattiness of the head, man. I was, But there was no knowledge garnered from it at that point. I think maybe the knowledge came later, which is cool, eh? It's just like we got a couple of years ago, I bought some pillows, and then we just bought a couch today from this lady, and the pillows that we bought like 4 years ago are perfect for the couch we got today. Now, who knew that we were buying pillows for the couch we got today 4 years ago? But in fact, you couldn't have done it better. Yeah? So you see things like this. You see that, you'll see a lot. Some people have a seat assignment, so they have to convey it. Others just rest in it. There's no difference, really. Yeah? Yeah. So, yeah. Anyone else, Mike?
Yeah, but I just wanted to say, I wish I could show you some of the stuff that works out so exceptionally here. I'll tell you about it.
Yes.
It's like
It's
little
a trip.
little great things like that.
I've seen this so much in this life of, I did something and I didn't really know why it came about, and then 2 years later, 3 years later, it's completely explained. So I find solutions now for seeming problems in the future. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they weren't even problems; they're just like cute little things. But anyway, yeah, Robin has her hand up. Go ahead, Robin.
Okay. So when I saw you in LA, you talked about like a parasite taking over your brain.
Yes. Parasitical movement. I don't, people think, most times when people hear the word parasite, they believe it's a thing, but this is like a non-thing parasitical movement, let's say.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is that the narrator?
In the case I used that, it was like, you could call it the selfing or whatever. Yes. Let's say the spirit or the movement in all that selfing. Yes. And then the movement can take a certain form, let's say alcoholism or addiction, and then you get treated very similar to other people that have been taken over by that alcoholism or addiction. Yes. Yes, you there?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. So basically, it really was an attempt. I didn't have any dog in the hunt. Parasite. It was an attempt to see that which was driving me crazy as foreign, because that worked. Yeah. When I saw it as foreign, in the next second, the possibility that I can be free from it appeared. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that second, it scanned a large aspect of time of this life and showed me that I had been trying to get out of this as this since I've been 6 years old. Yeah. And so the feed of that was based on I was trying to get out of something I was not actually in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And then when that was corrected, that correction's never been corrected. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I get it.
Yeah. So basically, then I started to see a lot of people's movements are trying to get into what they're not out of, and to try to get out of what they're not in. Yes. So it's a very, and so really, the wanting to get out is really giving life to the idea of being in. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what happens with spiritual seeking. You're wanting to find something as a way of escaping something else, is reinforcing that something else.
Yes.
As Ramana would say, how can that which is being used to reinforce the something else destroy it? It's obviously has a whole different agenda. The head's using what you think is your escape to verify the prison, so to speak. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To imagine it not you is
Yes, that's the
helpful.
beauty. Yeah. It's
Right.
not you. Yes. I don't see, because obviously I mean, there's well-worn paths to try to get out of what we're not in. Yeah. And usually they failed, and they've been disguised by the stubborn self-centeredness where you blame yourself without realizing the formula is bogus. Yeah. Yeah. So what happens with spiritual seeking, it can be very valuable when it becomes completely futile. Yeah. I think that's one of its great values because you recognize you can't arrive at where you already are. It's impossible. Yeah. And it has nothing to do what you thought it had to do with. It's not you didn't do enough or you haven't heard enough or no, it isn't that. Yeah. Even though you believe it and it seems like I arrived when those things collapse, when you do seemingly arrive, it tells you you've never left and it's always been this way. So it just fucking blows your little narrating house down like that. So yeah. Yeah, so that's how it helped with me. And of course, communication, the head really gets more through imagery than through words. Yeah.
Right.
So if I had a very distinct hit that I'm not that, and it was sufficient to bring about the possibility, hey, I can be free from it if I'm not that. Instead of trying to be free as it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big turning point. So in this trajectory, so to speak.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks, Robin. And a statement also said, I think in response to what I said, that it helps him too to hear your voice in his head.
Yes. That's what I mean. Yeah. It helped me to listen to Paul, his voice, and repeating, because it's very easy to forget, to get lost in the mental activity. So I like satsang because of that. Even if I know that it will be repetition, or in many cases also I come and see things that hear things from Paul that are very subtle. Like today, he's talking about very subtle things that are very important for me, and that happens. So is an open secret that sometimes repeats, but it also is a fountain of new things all the time. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I think in the Zooms, the questions actually help to go into a more subtle. Some of the people who ask something, it triggers another way of refining what's been said. So it's good. It's good for both of us.
I love it.
Just the question: is the selfing the selfing is the mental activity, but the selfing judges.
I didn't hear that last part. The selfing did what?
Judges. He's a judge of our.
Oh, a judge. Well, no, it's not a judge. It's judging. Let's say it would love to be seen as a judge. That would give it a stayability that it doesn't have. But yeah, it has it critiques. It's critiquing and going things over. We try to present it as something that Ramana alluded to, which is the policeman thief thing. Yes. So, and I could feel, yeah, I remember I would call the thief aspect was when I was out there running around crazy. And then when I got sober, that aspect just put on a different uniform, a policeman, and then just started walking the beat, you know, just fucking, just making life really uncomfortable because I should be perfect. It was actually, in a way, the thief had a lot more fringe benefits. Unfortunately, had some worse consequences, which was going to jail and shit, but at least I had some fun. So I feel it's important to see the policeman and the thief as two sides of the same coin. Yeah. Because I feel that's what happens a lot with some people. They now become the witness or the observer of the thief, but they don't realize that it's the thief that's observing the thief. It's just cast itself as a policeman now. Yeah. So I feel it's helpful to see both sides of that coin. And then you lose interest in the currency of that duality, really. Yeah. You're not going to find yourself in duality. You're going to find what you're not in duality. And in a way, the unsuspected inner resource of what you are will become quite suspected. Yeah. Thanks, Esteban. Thank you.
Thanks, Esteban. And I liked your
Thank you,
principle
Paul.
that open secret repeats a lot.
Yes,
And David,
He's
Oh,
open.
yeah. Yeah.
it's open
Yep.
anyways.
and David Down Under has his hand up.
Thank you.
G'day, Paul. G'day, everybody. Paul, thanks. You're of great help to me last week, like you are, like every week, or the Zooms are. It was one, the thing you said, you said something like to me, like, just give yourself over to it, you know, like the whole thing. And that's been a really nice feeling all week this week. I've had a lot cruisier, well, I've perceived I've had a lot cruisier week, but I was just with, and I think I said to you last week too, when I watched some of your old ones, and you bring it up all the time, the word my, you know, in front of everything. Yeah. When I think, or I suppose everybody thinks this is themselves, you know, like my, like for me, whether it's my intellect or my girlfriend or my guilt or my anything just doesn't work. You know, it just leads like to shit sort of thing. And the other beautiful thing, and you've said a lot too, I'm not sure who said it originally, whether it was Buddha or something, but you can't use light to find the light.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I've listened to that and sort of thought that I got it, you know, like or whatever. But then it's only just really sunk in that, like, I look around this little office I'm in here and I can pick anything in here and it's impossible to use it to find it, you know. So that's just like a big proof for me. You can't use anything to find it, to find itself. It just doesn't work. So that one really sort of reinforced with me this week. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I didn't really have a question. Just again, thank you, and thank you to everybody. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Nice to see you. I want to say, see that same sense that's caught by the my is the sense that I want to get rid of the my. Yeah. So I don't want to have my problems. I just want to have a problem. You see, you don't get rid of the my. You just see it's not you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That selfing is going to keep doing what it does. You're not going to train it not to do what it does. It doesn't know any better. Yeah. So this idea that it's not like, oh, the my never arises anymore. That may happen. It probably won't last long, but it may not. And you don't even want to have that one little requirement between you and what you are. You just see Yeah, you just see it from what you are. You see the my. That's all. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the head, how the my of the my would want it. It's got to disappear. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. You just see it. Yeah, yeah. So the head meets a problem, my problem. Yeah. Okay. When I used to hear that from the head, all right, I got to not make it mine. No,
Yeah.
that doesn't work. You just see it's not yours. Yeah. That's, you see, aware. You're aware it's not yours, finally. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it mean it stops appearing? Probably not. So if you're waiting for it to stop, please don't. Or just see you're not that which is waiting for it to stop. Yes, because you're not. Yeah. It
Right.
just goes on and oh man. You know. I remember
Yeah.
I was with a spiritual teacher, and they would always say, you know, you got to be able to meditate on, like, Times Square, not at these little retreats all fucking day. You got, yes, and how? So, but basically, if you take the meditate, you are that which you'd like to meditate on, always. Yeah, always. You're that. Yeah. And when you see that, you may not be quote unquote meditating anymore, but you'll feel like you're meditated by that. Yeah. Yeah. It's a different feeling. And the feelings that get engendered from this message are disarming in my experience. They always had one quality, which is a very disarming quality, and they also are here completely. Yeah, not like they were gone and they show up. No, every time I arrive anywhere in this little events, it's always been this way. So it's basically, did I arrive? No, I didn't. That's the narrative. Now, does the narrative ever learn? No, it does. It believes every time it goes seemingly back to where it always is, it says, I've arrived. It doesn't, you're not gonna, why would you want to work on changing it? It's just because there's a belief in it that it's you. Yeah, it's the one. So this happens all the time. You fall back into what's always here at all times, and the head translates into I arrived. I arrived once again. I arrived to the here and now once again. So now you feel like you've had 850 arrivals, but to the same fucking place. That same no place hasn't changed. Nothing's occurred. There's not a chalkboard with this is your 850 time of arriving, because it's based on having never left. That's the gorgeousness of it. Yeah.
I do that, all that what you've just said, I do that. And it's just like just this last week, all I do, a few times all I did was basically non-duality. Like I'm not those two things. That's where I went to straight away, which is like rather than all what you just said sort of thing, which was very refreshing, this, sort of thing. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Just keep coming if it's working. Yeah.
Oh,
if you're, I mean, people have gotten a strong sense of community through the Zoom. Now, I don't usually hang out after the Zoom, but I met that community at the retreat in Italy. It was wonderful. There's a lot of, there's some good mojo going on. So there you go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, David. Sorry, my mouth is full. I was just visiting Jack G, and I got home just before the meeting.
Don't let it happen again, all right?
Which, my mouth being full or visiting Jack G?
Remember, you're a representative of Zen Bitch Slap.
Oh,
Start,
my mouth being full. Okay, sorry.
start acting as if you.
Yeah, I got to apologize to Carrie too, because we've talked about eating on Zoom.
Don't worry. Hey, if there's no more questions, we'll say goodbye tonight, eh?
No other hands up.
No other hands up. All right, so Stefan is right here. He's the first person on the Zoom. Nice to see you, Stefan. On having never left. We got Tyler and Mendocino. Must be getting a little crispy there. Cool. Yeah. We got William S. Nice to see William. Thanks for being a part of this community, William. Yes, yes. Walter, brother from another mother. There he is. Kerry, Hawaii. Yeah, chilling out. No, he's in Montana now. Billings, Montana. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jack G. There he is. Thank you for being hospitable to Mike Z.
He was very.
That's very nice. We got Linda. Nice to see Linda. How are you there? We got Alan. Always a pleasure. Thanks for all the support, Alan. Steve Cole from San Diego. Pleasure. Miss Amelia. There she is. She's toasty. We got Tej, my main man. Yes. Bruce. Let's see. Who else we got here? Esteban. Very nice. Mia sent us a great care package from. She puts a lot of attention and effort into these care packages. Yes. Your artistic flair is appreciated. Yeah. Very nice. Thank you. We got Brandon, one of our resident musicians. We got, let's see, who else is here? I got Esteban and everyone. I got that. I think I got everyone. Far out. Hey.
You forgot Bill and Kathleen.
Oh yeah, I just found a whole new. I found a whole new page. There they are. How could I forget Kathleen and Bill? No, I lost the page. So we have Stewart. Nice to see Stewart. Yes, Mike. Just to clarify, Stewart. Australia did not invent the beanie. No, forget about it. No. They were probably wearing beanies when they went to Australia for the first fucking time. So, no. Yeah. So, we got Susanna W. It was nice to see Susanna live. There she is. Very good. Robert French. Always a pleasure. Michael S. You don't mind if I say your last name, do you? Michael Sherman? I don't know. It could be recovery or not. Yeah, it's got to worry. We got Sherry.
There are
Nice
people
to see
trailing
Sherry.
me, so.
We got Robin. We got I think I just lost. Oh, Hari. How are you doing, Hari? All's well? Yeah, very good. Yeah. Let's just all's well. Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
She's coming out of the dark.
All right. Hey, listen, thank you, everyone. Pleasure. We have all the talks are on the website under the event page. And the next one coming up is going to be February in Mexico. We'll be down in Lake Chabala, near Guadalajara. And I think just for the weekend, February 3rd to the 6th. So we'll put up the information when we get it. So, hey, yep, thank you. See you guys.
Thank you.